Mrs. Dissigler here. If you don't know who I am a reading teacher at Laurel Park Elementary School. And I am here to begin another read aloud for 4th and 5th grade upon request. On one of the YouTube channels, I had a Laurel Park student ask if I could read a book about the Holocaust. And in my stash of books, I found a book that I have not read that I really would like to read. It's a newer book, and the title is Once. And it's a historical fiction. And this means all the history that is in this book is true and real and based on facts. However, the fiction part is it's a made-up character, and the plot within the historical events is made up as well. So we'll continue to talk more about what's fiction and what's real in the story, but the setting is a very important part of the story because it takes place during the Holocaust. So in order to understand this novel best, you need to understand a little bit about the Holocaust. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to briefly talk about some of the major things that happened during the Holocaust. Just a brief summary. Okay, so then we can get into our reading tomorrow. So basically, it was a period in history during the time of World War II. It was a little bit before and during it. So that was about 1939 to 1945. And this is when millions of Jews were murdered because of who they are, just because they were Jewish. During this time, during World War II, there was a man named Adolf Hitler, and he was the leader of Germany. And I'm going to show you where Germany is on my map here. Okay, let me see if I'm lining that up right. Okay, Germany is on the continent of Europe. And Adolf Hitler had this grand plan to take over all of Europe. He wanted to conquer all of the countries. France, Italy, Sweden, Poland, Czechoslovakia. There's lots of countries there, and he wanted to just take them over so that he could control everyone and tell everyone what to do. Okay? So something about Adolf Hitler was that he was a very mean man, and he thought that the Jews were to blame for losing World War I. That's why Germany lost World War I. That's what he thought. So he thought to make the world better, he needed to murder and kill all of the Jews. Okay, there were other people that he focused on too, but it was mainly the Jews who he terrorized and killed. So the killings were organized by Germany's Nazi party, okay, led by Adolf Hitler. So Adolf Hitler had these soldiers, and they called themselves the Nazis. And the Nazis were the ones who went and sought out the Jews, took them to places called concentration camps, and ultimately they were then killed. So during this time, many Jews were hiding. They were in hiding. They didn't want to be found. So I am going to show you a picture, some pictures of Adolf Hitler. So I'm going to show you my laptop screen here. These are lots of pictures. You see he had this mustache, small mustache, okay. He also was a soldier. I wanted to show you, here's a picture of him and the soldiers. They often raised their hand, a straight arm like this. They also wore these symbols. This symbol, and here is the Nazi symbol, the symbolism. Okay, and there's a lot, there he is again. With his hand outstretched, straight. Okay, that also. This too. Okay, that's how he saluted his soldiers and how they saluted him. Okay. All right. So let me get this historical fiction, and here it is. I apologize. I want to show you something else. This is called a Jewish star, and the Jewish star is representative of people who were Jewish. Okay, just like in Catholics or Christians, they have the cross. That's a symbol for that type of religion. This is a symbol of the Jewish star. Okay? Like I said, Jews were the main target of the Nazis, and the greatest number of victims were Jewish. And millions of Jews were murdered because of Adolf Hitler and wanting to to kill off that type of population. He didn't want any more Jewish people in the world. Okay, and if you don't know, Jewish people are usually those who they celebrate Hanukkah. Okay, they just celebrated Passover during this time. So they just have some different. They go to a temple instead of some of us call it a church. So there's just these minor differences, and it's just really different in religious beliefs, and has nothing to do with who the person is. But that's not what Adolf Hitler thought. Okay, and I just wanted to read you, I'm just reading a little bit off of my laptop. It says, the Holocaust is a period in history during which millions of Jewish people who Nazis identified using a Star of David, this is the Star of David, okay, and other people were killed because of their identity. Okay. So that is a little bit of a summary of what the Holocaust is, and you can imagine living up as someone who is Jewish during that time would be extremely scary. So, okay, I'm going to read a little bit of the back to you. There's a little blurb and a little quote of what the story might be about. The front cover doesn't give us much to go by. The title is just Once. You see a boy walking over a barbed wire. That's very sharp wire. Okay, I don't know. So let's get some more information. Once I escaped from an orphanage to find my mom and dad. Once I saved a girl called Zelda from a burning house. Once I made a Nazi with a toothache laugh. My name is Felix. This is my story. Okay, and I just want to read you a little bit more. Someone wrote about this book saying how great it was. It says it's packed with plenty of sadness. Felix's story is also touched with hope. Okay, the author, who is Gleitzman, his name is Morris Gleitzman. Okay, they say that he delivers a sharp sense of what it must have been like to be a child during the Holocaust, forced to grow up far too quickly. Okay, many of you know the story of Anne Frank. That is actually not a story. It's a true. That's true. That's all true. So that's a biography you might have read, or an autobiography, or the diaries of Anne Frank. Those are memoirs. So that was true events. Everything she wrote about or someone wrote about her, that's all true. Felix is a made-up character. However, this book still tells you a lot of what it must have been like for a young child being raised during this time. Okay, so tomorrow we will read chapter 1. I hope this is intriguing to you, and I hope you are all healthy, and I hope you all tune in. There aren't any assignments linked to this. This is just for pure enjoyment and to listen to it. Okay? All right, have a great night, and I'll hopefully see you all tomorrow.